Hello and welcome. I'm your host, Wayne Lou. You are listening to the Raptors Reaction Podcast After Dark, presented by Betway. For all your sports betting activities, hit the QR code that you see here on the screen or follow the link you see in the description of the episode. Raptors lose tonight in Golden State. No surprise here. The Warriors have been red hot since getting Jimmy Butler at the trade deadline. They lose by a score of 117 to 114. Actually, quite a competitive game. And a really, really enjoyable one. For anybody who actually stayed up tonight late to watch this game, it was really entertaining from start to finish. Honestly, a lot of strange tactical stuff that went into it. You know, like when you start the game with Draymond splashing from three because the Raptors chose not to guard him at all. And Draymond became basically Steph in the first quarter. And seeing the adjustments there, obviously Steph Curry himself presents so many issues in terms of how the Raptors are going to guard him. It's just a really interesting matchup. You know, on the flip side, it was like, how are the Raptors going to attack Golden State? Because I was most impressed with tonight from Toronto was just how the Raptors were able to execute offensively against the Warriors. The Warriors have been really good defensively, like really, really good. And ultimately, it was a huge block by the Warriors at the end there. Jimmy Butler skying for a huge block on Jamal Shed at the end there when the Raptors were down 3. That was probably the biggest play of the game. And if it wasn't that, it was probably Draymond running back, sprinting back and transitioning and taking away an Ochai Agbaji alley-oop dunk. The Raptors had thrown him a full court pass. Draymond was fully behind the play. Somehow he recovered in time to tip it away there. But it was really impressive watching the Raptors execute offensively against Golden State. Actually, really a lot of interesting things went into this one. And I think you got to start with what Scottie and IQ did in this one. I think if you're going to continue to play these guys down the stretch, you want to see something actually productive out of these guys. You want to see them grow. You want to see them build chemistry with one another, establish, a sense of how they're going to play, where they're going to play off of each other. As much as, everyone's looking at the results in terms of did they lose tonight? Did they, sustain their standings, everything like that. The other part that you can't throw out is the development portion. And I feel like IQ and Scottie on several games of this road trip have shown me a really good chemistry of how they attacked, as a tandem. And I thought tonight, Scottie goes for one of his best games of the season. He had 29 points, 10 rebounds, 6 assists, a block. And I thought overall his defense, whether that was him switching across multiple positions, whether that was him guarding Jimmy Butler, whether that was him guarding Draymond Green at times, whether that was him being a help defender, I just thought that he was very versatile and played a really, really good two-way performance. But most importantly, offensively, I thought he got into a lot of really great spots. 29 points on 11 of 16 shooting, was able to get to the rim, was able to hit from the mid-range, was able to knock down one of his 2 threes, got to the foul line 8 times as well. Just did a lot of really good balanced stuff for the team as a whole, both as an on-ball creator, but also as a guy who was screening and then rolling to the basket for some of those plays. He had a huge dunk towards the end there where kind of a broken possession, but the Warriors really swarmed the three-point line, trying to prevent the Raptors from getting a 3 up at the end. And I think it was Jamal who was able to throw a pass to Scotty rolling to the basket, and the Warriors rotated back over. But Scotty Barnes was able to rise up 2 hands, dunk all over Jonathan Kuminga at the end there, which actually made it a 3-point game once again. So, a lot of really good stuff from Scottie in this one. And Immanuel, 21 points, 8 assists, 3 steals. He played a really good game tonight. I felt like he was really leading a lot of the offense, especially down the stretch there, made a ton of big plays for the team. But even in the balance of the game, in terms of when the Raptors made a push in the third quarter, when the Raptors were able to, close the gap at times in the first half because the Raptors were down early, a lot of that was IQ, and seeing him, find that right balance between, knocking down the 3 and being aggressive with it. He was 3 of 7 from 3, which is a good percentage for him. And just in general, that's a pretty comfortable number. But I also like seeing him get downhill. The other part with IQ is he's got that really good floater game. He's got that ability to burst past his defender. And then at that point, it's like, what does he do? Is he setting up a guy, or is he going to try to finish that little floater? And he's looked stronger to me of late. He's looked quicker to me of late. He looks physically way more, I guess fresher, than he did previously in the season. Obviously, it's been a really injury-plagued season for IQ, so that's hardly a surprise. But I'm actually really encouraged to see where he's at physically. He's able to burst past this guy a lot now. And when he's getting downhill, that floater, whether he's banking it off the glass, whether he's going straight up with the floater, he's finishing and ones with that floater. If he has the three, which he pretty much consistently has, but if he has the three and the floater down, IQ becomes a very, very dangerous player for the Toronto Raptors. And I think the other part too is seeing IQ and Scotty play together. Tonight they actually spent some time apart, but for the most part, what the Raptors have been doing has been to stack their minutes as much as they can together to build again that momentum going forward. And the two of those guys, I thought they combined well. I think there were moments where Scotty was able to roll to the basket. There were moments where Scotty was able to short roll to the free throw line area. IQ, I thought, did a great job of using those screens and getting himself separation. I think, quite frankly, the Warriors didn't really have great on-ball defense at the point of attack against a smaller guard like him. And so he was able to jet past a guy like Brandon Pajemski or, Moses Moody, and the times where Moody was able to guard him. I just felt like he was able to get a step around those type of guys. And the Warriors, as much as their bigs were, able to rotate, I think that's probably the biggest thing with the Warriors defense is they're able to help each other a lot. I mean, they got two genius level help defenders in Draymond Green and Jimmy Butler, and that certainly helps a lot. But just in general, the Warriors, because they're smaller, but also because they're smart, they know how to defend as a group and defend as a pack. But the thing is, like, a lot of those rotations were late at the rim because IQ was beating them with those floaters. So for me, it's just like, if I'm still watching these games, and if the Raptors are still going to play some of their main players, I want to see how they build off of each other. And quite frankly, Scotty and IQ have not had much chance to play with each other when they're both healthy, right? Since the trade last year, IQ joins the team. They play well together for a bit. And then, Scotty goes down with the hand injury, and they weren't able to establish much rhythm last season. And this season, Scotty's been healthy for the most part all year, which is great. But IQ, from day one, opening night, he hurts his back. And, that sets him back like 2-3 different times. He's missed time with injury. And now finally he's getting a consistent run here. And he actually is starting to show more of that chemistry, with him and Scotty. And I think that that's probably the major thing is those two have to find that balance. And of course, when RJ comes back in, I feel like RJ's kind of felt comfortable offensively across the board tonight. He was rested, but, ultimately we will see RJ eventually. RJ's sort of been consistent in terms of his offense. He kind of knows how to get to the basket, how to get out in transition, catch and shoot threes. But of course, long term, it's like, how does Brandon Ingram eventually fit in with the rest of what this team is doing? But most importantly, those two guys who the Raptors have signed to big contracts this past offseason, they have to build that chemistry. And I feel like, the game against the Jazz on the road, they did a really good job in that one as well. I thought the Portland game, both of those guys stood out to me offensively. And then this game, I mean, say what you want, man, but like in terms of like on-ball creation, like Scotty and IQ actually did a better job than anybody on the Warriors, which is kind of crazy to say. Like the Warriors obviously have, Jimmy Butler, they have Draymond Green, who in this one was really good offensively until, he cooled off from three eventually. And then Steph, they did a great job with denying Steph. And so, it was actually IQ and Scotty that really well. And I think the one thing with Scotty too, I really liked was there were two instances tonight where he got himself matched up on Jimmy Butler. And both times he recognized where he was. He recognized that he was getting guarded by an elite defender, but he took his time and he backed him down. And then he took the short turnaround jumpers over top of Jimmy. And the things I like about that are, number one, obviously, if we're talking about what Scotty's developed this season offensively, we've had so many discussions, and this has been such a big point of discussion is like, what is Scotty doing offensively? The one thing that he's really undeniably, I feel like, added to his game this year is the comfort in being able to pull up and get to the mid-range. And tonight, in those moments where he was able to post up against Jimmy and use his size to rise up over the top, because as good as Jimmy is, Scotty is just bigger than Jimmy, right? Jimmy's like 6'5", 6'6". Scotty's like 6'8". You know what I mean? With long arms, he's going to be able to shoot over the top. So number one is the touch that, and I guess the confidence and the footwork to actually get to those type of shots where he's able to be confident. But I think number two is it's like, it's been pretty noteworthy that like the Raptors have been playing a lot of one-on-one drills after practice lately. And I do think that like the more you practice some of those things in terms of like, the Raptors playing king of the court, like, it's basically five guys playing one-on-one against each other. And I feel like if there is one go-to move, like if Scotty had to get a bucket over somebody, that is the move I want him to get to. Back him down a little bit, see where you get to, and then, turn, get your balance, fade, and then just like shoot over the top. And I really like that, again, against a really good defender, Jimmy Butler. Scottie did that twice to him in tonight's game. So those were all really promising signs. And honestly, like the rest of it was just like, it was just fun tactically. Like the Raptors obviously started this game with Jakob Poeltl guarding Draymond Green. The Warriors, being as smart as they were, immediately picked up on it and immediately, exploited that for, their benefit. There's a play where, like, about a minute into the game, Jakob is applying full court pressure to Draymond past half court, which, like, when do you ever see Jakob pick up past half court? You know what I mean? And obviously, like, Draymond is quicker, I would even argue stronger, quite frankly. Draymond's very strong, and he's got a good handle. And it's like, obviously, he's going to, eventually draw a foul. Jakob doesn't have that level of, like, full court defense. And then Jakob was leaving him really, like, completely uncontested, like no contest or anything, like not even a motion to move over. And the thing is, Draymond's actually shot the three really well this season. So Draymond was splashing those early. Quinton Post was hitting those a lot earlier. Quinton Post, I think, had 6 threes tonight. He was absolutely massive for the Warriors off the bench. So, it created this problem for the Raptors where, yes, they were denying Steph, like they were playing him with the top block, so they weren't letting him come up to the three at all. He got a couple of backdoor cuts, and that speaks to Steph's, like, ability to, Steph's seen every style of defense, right? So, like, just because you top block him doesn't necessarily mean Steph's not going to be involved. Steph was great with the screening. Steph was great cutting backdoor. But the Raptors initially had, Ochai guarding Steph for the starting lineup. Then you saw 2 other prominent Steph assignments. You saw Jamal Shead guarding Steph, which makes sense. That's point guard versus point guard. But you also saw a lot of Jonathan Mobo guarding Steph. And that's, for me, is like where, yes, these games are about competing, but also at the same time, it's also about getting a little bit of data in terms of, like, okay, who are you actually going to be able to match up against? And, in terms of, like, turning a game into a bit of a practice, that's where I thought, like, Mobile getting that chance to guard Steph, even though I felt like Steph probably beat him like 4 out of 5 possessions that it happened. But ultimately, like, there is a bit of a data point there in terms of, like, okay, how does it look like if you have Mobo, who is a power forward? Sometimes he's played center this year. How does he look guarding the opposing team's point guard? And not just any point guard, it's literally Steph Curry. So I feel like there was a bit of, like, experimentation, if you will, that went into that portion of it. Eventually, the Raptors did switch up their matchups in the second half. You saw a lot of Steph still being guarded by Ochai and Jamal, but less so with Mobo. And then you saw a lot of, like, you saw, like, Scottie switch on to Draymond, that assignment, a little bit more. You even saw a lot of, like, it was weird, but, like, Jakob guarding, Jimmy Butler. Like, it's just strange across the board because you're going to have different matchups. You saw Mobo also switch on to guarding Draymond a lot. I feel like that probably is the better matchup in this one, especially if Mobo is going to start. It makes sense to sort of, like, use the switchability, but also use the ability for him to, like, be, like, portable and move his feet to, like, pressure Draymond. Because as much as, like, I like seeing a guy like Jakob move his feet and extend his defense, he's not physically able to do it. But if you put Mobo on him, Mobo is quick enough and long enough where he can at least apply some ball pressure on, which is absolutely vital against the Warriors, because it's not even about the Warriors on-ball guys creating, unless you're talking about Steph. But it's like, if Draymond has the ball, you still want to pressure up on him because you want to take away some of those passing lanes because they're so good at throwing those passes over the top. So, it was just interesting seeing the two coaches, like, trying to adjust and, I guess problem solve for what the other team was doing. And on the Raptors side, like, I thought it was, once again, a really brave effort from, just the team as a whole. I thought Ochai played his role well, finished a couple of, decent plays, even took it off the dribble once or twice, which was nice to see. I always want to see him just, like, expand from being purely a play finisher to maybe being a guy who can create a tiny bit for himself. I thought James Battle did a really great job in this one. 14 points off the bench in 33 minutes. He had 4 of 10 from 3, but he even had a no-dip 3 where the drive was kicked out to him and he already had the elbow and the shot basically at shoulder level, and he just went up for the quick shot. Like, it's a quick fire shot. The thing is, obviously, you're trying to load up your shot most times because you're trying to get momentum into the shot or build power into the shot. I think it really does speak to a pretty special technique for a shooter when they're able to shoot a no-dip, because you're able to get it off even quicker. You're able to catch it high and then release it high. It's a way to make contested shots as well, especially out of the corners. I feel like the no-dip 3 is actually, you see lots of guys around the league start to develop this kind of skill. Bogdanovich, I feel like, is one of the guys that I first saw it with. But he did a great job. I thought Jamal Shead played great. Continues to sort of, like, picked the right moments to shoot the threes. I think like that's really helped his accuracy. But, he came in the game, immediately gave the Raptors 2 threes. His speed going downhill, I thought was, it continues to be this balance where he's got to use his burst to get downhill to create the rotation, to then create the opening to make a pass. But a lot of the time, he is still struggling to find that balance between, if I'm going to go really fast and I'm going to leave my feet, am I going to make the right decision? I'm going to make the right accurate decision. And are my teammates going to be able to read which angle I'm trying to create? Because he's almost like, he's committing himself each time with it, right? And that's probably why he has something like 6 assists, which is great, but also 5 turnovers. So I think it's the right balance in terms of finding how he's able to maintain those advantages and create those. But I really like the way he played tonight. He also had another driving dunk, which is pretty incredible. The other game he had that one-handed putback dunk. Tonight he had I think the Raptors came out of the timeout, gave him basically a set of double screens. And instead of, he used the first screen from Scottie, and then he was setting up to use the second screen, I think probably from like, the center. And instead he actually crossed over and kind of like split his own 2 screens. And that caught his defender, Brandon Pajemski, off guard. Then he rolled down, and basically because Scottie and Jakob were both at the 3-point line, that really took away a lot of the Warriors' help defense towards the top of the floor, because usually it's bigs versus bigs. And, basically no one even rotated over, and Jamal was able to take off, and he took off from really far, like literally just like a foot on the dotted circle. And he was able to take off from there to dunk the ball. So it was great to see that. It was great to see the enthusiasm. And I think really the last thing is just like, it was a little bit confusing because basically with 8 minutes left in the fourth quarter, the Raptors were down 2, and then they pulled their main guys, right? And you saw Jakob come off the floor, you saw Scottie come off the floor, you saw IQ come off the floor. That's been their MO of late, right? They get into a competitive game, and then they kind of just like tank it the rest of the way, and they pull the rug out, and they basically give the win to the opponent. And I thought that that's kind of what was going to happen here. Once that happened, the Warriors were able to, obviously lock down. I mean, you're talking about Draymond and, Jimmy Butler, and they're having to defend, like, with all due respect, but Jamal Shed and Jamison Battle are the number 1 and 2 options out there. I feel like those guys can handle it. But then, strangely enough, with 4 minutes left in the game, the Raptors did ultimately put back IQ, Scottie, and Jakob. And so I guess it was kind of a pump fake in that sense, because the Raptors, if you've been looking at the scouting report, they have been doing that thing where they pull their guys. But ultimately, they actually put those guys back in. And I think at that point, the Raptors were down 5, and that created a bit of an interesting finish, because you actually did have the Raptors main guys against the Warriors main guys. On that front, like, I didn't mind. I thought the Raptors made it close, had missed a couple of key chances, but it was great defense on the other side too. Like Ochai, I thought he had an alley-oop play, but again, Draymond hustle, he broke that up. IQ had an open pull-up 3 that could have tied it. He missed that. Scottie had a mid-range, pick and pop basically. But like that old school pick and pop where the pop was kind of like to the mid-range rather than all the way out to 3. He missed that, but it was a really open shot. I liked the rhythm on all those plays. It was just like ultimately the Raptors actually couldn't close even with their main guys in. But still, it was a really fun one. It was a really fun one. I hope Steph Curry's okay. He got bumped by Jonathan Mobo just at the basket. Nothing at all malicious, just a pure basketball play. But Steph was driving, and I think was swinging the ball, but he was midair. And then I think because he was driving in midair, it looked like he was maybe going for a shot. So Mobo had rotated over to try to contest at the rim. Steph was just off balance, and he landed on his tailbone. Just a really unfortunate landing. I'm not entirely sure that Darko called the timeout specifically because Steph was hurt, but because it was also like just above that 3-minute mark where it's like, before the 3-minute mark in each quarter, you have like a use it or lose it timeout situation. So maybe he was just looking like that, but ultimately he actually did call timeout, even though the Raptors were on their own fast break. And obviously Steph is back there, so like he's not getting up. You have numbers. He actually called timeout to stop his own fast break so that Steph was able to get the trainers onto the court and help him ultimately walk off. Steph did ultimately walk to the locker room, and they did diagnose it as a bruise. So hopefully it's just nothing more serious than that. But I actually really like that from Darko. I know that, like, again, most coaches would not do that. Most coaches would allow the advantage to accrue and score off the play. Ultimately, it is the onus of the other team to foul you if they want to stop the game, or to call timeout after the Raptors finish their possession and the possession flips. But ultimately, I actually liked when Darko called that timeout because, like, it's Steph, man. Like, he's one of the greatest players ever. You know what I mean? And if he's injured, let's try as much as possible to make sure he's okay. So that's this one. To be honest, I didn't expect it to be that long of a recap on the game because I didn't expect it to be that good of a game, but it was a really good game. But ultimately, we are going to move to the banter portion of the podcast. We got a fresh 6-pack coming your way. We got your questions that we are taking here in the live stream. It is currently 1:06 a.m. on the East Coast. That's when I'm going to bring in my guy, my brother, Alex Wong. What's going on, man?
Oh, yo, what's up, man? How am I? Yo, chat, how am I sounding?
You sound fine, man. You sound fine, bro.
Oh, okay. I was all stressed out. Yo, let's go till 3 a.m. tonight, man. How's your energy going?
Oh, I'm so tired. I did take a nap before the game.
You know how I know you're tired when you make like little mistakes?
Yeah.
Like you'll sometimes like say like a different player, or like you'll get the score like slightly wrong by like 10 points.
Yeah.
I'm just calling you dyslexic.
No, I'm gonna do the Moses Moody meme with
Ooh, Mike is crisp. Let's do it. Moses Moody, my guy. How did he do tonight?
Yo, your boy looking good, man.
Yeah.
All those clutch party attendees look nice tonight, man.
Damn, man.
Now, Moody was not that good tonight. I'm not gonna lie to you. He was 0 for 5 from the field. Like it wasn't like, but he was okay. I think he made like one big stop at some point.
It's good to confirm Quentin Post is a real player.
Dude,
he's the guy who looks like they cloned 80% of Anderson Varejao, right?
No, that's Guy Santos.
Yes, that's my bad. That's
come on, bro. Come on, man.
My bad.
You think Quentin Post is Dutch? Yeah. He looks kind of like if you drew like the Gerber baby.
Yeah.
It looks like if you scratched a little tiny mustache on the Gerber baby. That's kind of what Quentin Post looks like.
Yeah.
So, but he's been great, man. He's been great. I mean, yo, bro, he had 6 threes off the bench. And it was like confident, like quick release threes from a 7-footer.
One more than Mr. Clutch, Draymond Green. Yeah.
Ah, man, Draymond was hot like hell in the first half. Yeah, I think he bricked all of them in the second half, though.
Listen, I wasn't really watching. I wasn't really listening to you in the first 20 minutes. I was, deep talking to the chat. Shouts to all the listeners, the late night helloers. How bad is Steph's injury?
It looked pretty bad at first. He reacted really like strongly.
Yeah.
But basically, he was driving to the rim. He threw a pass. Well, that's what they called it. I mean, he did walk off on his own, which is really promising.
Yeah.
But like at first, it looked really bad.
Yeah, because the Warriors, they're my team now. Yeah.
Yo, I mean, I pick the Warriors every playoffs, man. I mean, it's probably because like
so
my extended family live out there.
Just so Andy Lou will go to Hot Pot with you.
Yeah, how has that not happened yet, man?
Because he's a dad now. He's disappeared. He doesn't even tweet out
So
K-pop.
what, Dad?
Is his Twitter header still a K-pop artist horizontally?
What do you want it to be, man? His offspring?
Oh man.
No, you telling me a dad can't go out there and put some lamb slices into a hot pot? Come on, dude.
I've lost many people due to becoming dads and stuff.
And to be clear, his header is still a K-pop star sideways.
Yeah.
So nothing has changed, even though his lineage has.
Per sources, Jerome says Steve Kerr said post game that Steph is getting an MRI. So hopefully everything's okay, man. Holy. Not trying to see Jimmy Butler trying to lead the Miami Warriors.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie to you. As much as Jimmy Butler did make a huge block at the end there, him trying to score in crunch time was just a lot of pump faking, and then ultimately like not getting a good shot up.
Pure
like,
foul baiting at the basket. Man.
There's a lot of foul baiting, man.
There was one point too I saw in the fourth quarter, like Jimmy and Draymond were both yelling at the ref. Honestly, man, if I'm an NBA ref, I'm like, yo, just shut the fuck up, man. Like, I don't get paid enough. They give me these stupid zebra stripe uniforms, like probably like league issued like black Air Max 90s. Like, I'm not taking shit from Jimmy Butler and Draymond Green at the same time. Like, just shut up.
No,
sometimes I'm on the ref side, man. Honestly, like they take some abuse sometimes.
No, this was a well officiated game. Like I don't think I noticed the refs one time. I didn't really disagree with many of the calls.
Mm-hmm.
There was a play where Yaka blocked, I think Moody going to the basket, but like, I mean, from behind it kind of looked like it was a foul. So like, what I mean, it was in transition. Like it was kind of a recovery block. At that point, the Raptors also didn't have any more challenges. By the way, the challenge point is really funny to me because like you can even tell Matt is starting to get a little annoyed with it. Because like you actually saw with the Raptors, it was like it was the end of the first quarter. But basically, IQ drove in, and it was like a block charge scenario. It was ultimately deemed. It was called as a charge. Darko did review it, and then I don't know, they said something like he invades the defender's space or something, even though Pajemski is fully moving. So I understand why they reviewed it, but you could tell Matt's even annoyed with it because he's like, yeah, the Raptors are now 17 and 22 on challenges, which is really funny because like when you really think about it, you have the advantage of technology and replay to issue a challenge. So your challenge percentage should be much higher than like 50%.
Yeah.
50% is just tossing a coin.
Weird.
But you're actually saying more times that like that's a foul, even though it's not. You know what I mean? Like, why is your percentage that low? Is my question.
Yeah, no, I get it, man. The coaches' challenge should be like the tiebreaker for the draft lottery, man. And maybe coaches would be a little more careful, you know. I don't know.
Yeah.
Anyways,
By the way, do you think they should hire a referee? Like, you know how they have Monty McCutcheon?
yeah.
You know what I mean? But like, no, because like the assistant staff is like 50 people at this point. Anyway.
That's actually a crazy radical idea. This is something Daryl Morey would have pitched at Sloan Analytics back in
ChatGPT would have sped
2001.
this up. No, but seriously, if you have somebody on the bench who's like literally only there watching an iPad for replays, why not make that a referee?
I like that actually.
Yeah.
I like that actually. Like that's actually like a small edge. Like this is like your money ball.
Yeah,
this is your Moneyball idea.
Let's-
hire Ben Taylor.
What's Dick Favetta saying, man?
hire Natalie Sago.
Yeah, well, I wouldn't choose her.
You you don't have a six pack, right? All right.
Hell no, man.
Just
I'm
double
tired.
checking. Thank Lord.
Yeah.
All right, let's get to it. First thing, I know, Raptors land has been talking about this clip the last day. Thad Young was on Tony Allen and Zach Randolph's podcast talking about his experience in Toronto. We're going to play this about 1 minute clip real quick and then talk about it. Here's the clip.
Put something on it. I sell ice in the winter. I sell fire in hell.
By the way, I'm not in control of the videos tonight. It's Jerome.
I ain't gonna lie. Being in Toronto is kind of tough. Yeah, it's tough.
I told your
It's tough. It's tough to.
family
It's
can't come there. None
it's
of
cool to visit, be there for like 4 or 5 days. That's cool, but to live there, yeah, it's tough.
It's tough.
It was tough. It was tough on my family. Like you can see my son behind you.
You like
shaking his head. Kid was ready to come home, man.
He like you
Kid
gotta
was
go
ready
through
to come
customs
home.
all the time,
Every time,
man.
yeah.
Come on.
It's almost like you at a disadvantage. Like we have to go through the airport every single time. Like you got to go through the airport. Is the customs part of it? Like you mean to tell me I just paid for the package and I got to pay you more money to get my package from you?
Come on, man.
Like, come on, man. Customs, then getting stuck at the border.
Shit.
Come on, man. I got stuck at the border for 3-4 hours.
Man, every time I come with the team, I come to Toronto with the team. They pulling me and TA to the back every time. They ain't want to let us through that motherfucker. They had 100 questions for us.
I
We
hate
barely
it.
got to that
Mind
motherfucker.
you, hold on.
One
Mind
year
you,
they told me don't even come, bro. Like,
look, mind you,
Don't come.
it's cold as hell while they read your name. You and that motherfucker shaking like. You like, God damn, man, I ain't found my shit yet. Man, I promise you, God, I listen, Toronto, I like kicking at your nightclub. I couldn't see myself playing that, man. Listen, they gunpoint.
Yeah,
Listen,
I was
it's
there
over
for
with.
2 years. That was tough. I ain't gonna lie.
Yo, I didn't notice Tony Allen said he wouldn't play there at gunpoint. Tony Allen ran into him at the San Francisco airport
Yeah.
as we were leaving All-Star, as the Delta plane was upside down in Toronto.
I mean, damn, did they have to go through customs? I mean,
Oh man, yeah. So I got my thoughts on this, but what are your thoughts, my brother?
I think professional athletes really have to understand that they feel relatable to people, but sometimes they got to be aware of what they're saying. I think it's like perfectly fine for people to not enjoy a place that they go to, but when those complaints are centered around things that are, quite frankly, very trivial, like going through customs, it does not land with people. You have to be a little bit more self-aware than that. And of whatever, I mean, Thad Young's retired, like he doesn't have to like manage his PR or anything, but you do sound like just incredibly out of touch when you're complaining about customs while you make 8 figures. You know what I mean? And like, I thought Thad was great to deal with personally. I've enjoyed interviewing Thad. I thought Thad was a good vet for the team. You know, he did what he needed to in Toronto. Obviously, the Raptors traded for him intentionally. They also, you know, obviously paid him as well. So, like, I think I was all treated more than fair, and none of his complaints about the organization. But at the same time, it's like some of these things are just like really just like small and petty. I think it grinds on people most importantly because it's like I think Torontonians more than anything else have this like burning desire to be recognized and loved and to be showered with praise. Because I feel like we all feel this like real pride in like the place that we come from. And if you're from here and you complain about it, it lands totally differently than when you come here and complain about it. But ultimately, at the same time, it's like we know we live in a great place. We know we live in a world-class city, and that doesn't mean it's not perfect. But if you actually go out of your way to complain about something that is like quite frankly really trivial, as compared to pointing out some of the realer issues in the city, then you just sound out of touch. And that's what I feel with this. You know what I mean? Like it's a millionaire problem that quite frankly, like it doesn't bother me that much, but it's also at the same time, it's like you should know that this actually does make you look just really out of touch. That's all.
Yeah, I think the relatability thing that you mentioned is like a really good point. The other thing I wanted to add is just like, and this is no offense to that, like you mentioned, really enjoyed dealing with him.
Great.
Like whenever we had him
He
on the
seemed
show.
like a great guy, man. I enjoyed that. Yeah.
I just want to tell Raptors fans, like, I don't care what Thad Young thinks about Toronto, man. Like, why are you guys getting so upset at this? The only person I've ever been upset from a Raptors standpoint is Kawhi Leonard. Deciding that he didn't want to come back to Toronto. Like that's the only one that actually upset me because it cost me at least an extra championship and like 2 more years of happiness watching the Raptors. Like we know that there's players around the league that are just like, you know, they have issues with like customs. They have issues with just coming to Canada because the Raptors are just the only team that has that. Yeah. And I get it. It's like I think some of that stuff you've heard the complaints like over the years. It's been like, you know, this is like not a new thing. I kind of saw this and was just like, man, this is like you mentioned, it's tough for Thad because like the public, he's not going to win the public perception game like complaining about something like this.
I mean, he ain't running for president or nothing.
Yeah, but he's like, obviously the fans
the
fans got him on the Goran Dragic, you know, all first team now. Of peer haters, but it's like, yeah, man, I just saw this and I'm like, man, I don't know why everyone's so upset, man. Like Toronto's a great city. You know, we love to complain about stuff about it sometimes, but like you mentioned, it's different. It's different when we're here, but it's just like I kind of just want to tell
complain
people,
about something real.
Yeah, like the.
Yeah, I mean, it's not like the city doesn't have real problems.
The streetcar detouring at at Dufferin all the time. You know,
I mean,
problems.
yeah, was Thad Young on that streetcar, man? Come on, man.
You know,
He's like, I spent so much money on this extra package. You know what I mean? Like, what money was he spending on the extra package? By the way,
the most relatable thing for me was like he mentioned too, like you got to pay customs on packages and stuff. Yeah. Like, man, when you shopping on eBay, man, and that shit comes in, and they're like, yo, you gotta pay 50. You gotta go to Shoppers right now and pay $53.
Yo,
it's
guess
hurting
what?
for me.
Guess what?
But I make 1/100th of what Thad makes. So
yeah, number one, he makes so much money. Number two, you're in the States every week. You travel for work.
Yeah, just get that shit shipped to New York, man.
What are we talking about?
That's what me and Jerome do.
Hey, look at your schedule. Tell them to ship it to that hotel in the States where you're going to, and that's it. I mean, also, like, bro, how are you going to be a millionaire and stress about $50 of, like
Hey, listen, man, we've seen some NBA coaches stress about.
Man. You're either a millionaire or you aren't, man.
We've seen some NBA assistant coaches stress about certain amounts of that way, too, you know? Yeah. So, you know, for longtime followers, that's a little breadcrumb for you. But that's all I have to say about that. Yeah. Like, you know, Charlie Villanueva. You know the most educational thing out of this is realizing that there's actually way more player podcasts out there.
Oh yeah, tons.
Because I was like, yo, Zebo and Tony Allen have a pod.
I actually like their pod. I like their dynamic.
I didn't know about this.
I think the key right now is like if you find two teammates that have played with each other, but they're chill and they're really respected and likable.
Pierce and KG is a great example.
Right, like
all the smoke.
Steven Jackson, and Matt Barnes is the same example there. But I feel like, more than anything else, like obviously there are going to be like little nuances because you're changing countries and you're changing borders, and like there's an actual thing you're doing by leaving the country. And I suppose that if you're an American and you prefer to just be in America and you just like feel the comfort of never leaving your country. And quite frankly, like you know the stat was like a lot of Americans don't even have passports, for example, because they live in a big city, they live in a big country.
They don't
just
think
go
they don't
straight
think
to
about
state.
passports sometimes. Yeah.
Right? They're like, oh, why do I got to get a passport across the border? I can't get my family across. Like, of course, there's little nuances, but again, you have to like look at the bigger picture, man.
Yeah.
These are like the smallest things that like the average person can handle. Let alone these people in the NBA who like you have access to all the lawyers that you want if you want to help your family get a passport. You have like. You know, get and set up a nexus. Like you understand, you're coming across the border all the time. You play for the Raptors. Why isn't that just an automatic thing that you have? And more than anything else, it's like even if you don't have a way to sort of like I guess solve some of these things, it's like if you actually vocalize it, you do come across like you're just complaining about something that quite frankly like everyone has to deal with. You know what I mean? So I don't even want to use this opportunity to sort of like shit on Americans or anything like that. Like that doesn't necessarily. Make me feel superior or anything like that. Like I know how great Toronto is. Like I don't need to validate that. I know how great Canada is as well. But like, I think it's. Part of it just comes from a place of like not even ignorance really, because I feel like that's not the right word to use here.
No,
it just looks out of touch. That's all.
Yeah,
I'll say.
it's just NBA players, different lifestyles, and they express their problems in this way. Number 2, so. Jimmy Butler, of course, on the Warriors has been like a honeymoon phase, you know, coming from the Miami Heat.
Yep.
Let's not forget that he like literally just got himself suspended for like half the season with Miami, and now comes here.
Right.
And you know the Warriors are playing great. So in a profile this week in The Athletic, it was revealed that you know the team went out for a dinner, and when they went around to start ordering like appetizers, Jimmy ordered a cheesecake. And he says that I'm no different than anybody else. I just eat my meals in reverse. I start with dessert and work my way back.
You tell me Jimmy Butler eating it from the back?
Oh my God. The article also says sounds like something out of Benjamin Button's playbook. Is Jimmy Butler interesting?
Sounds like Jimmy Butler eating the menu from the back, man.
I'm exiting stage, bro. Yeah, you're getting a Tupac Shakur, and I'm leaving.
No, I think realistically, like that is just a poor way to eat.
Yeah.
Like not even like judging like diet wise or anything like that, because I'm definitely not anybody. I'm not in a position to put any aspersions
It's
on
not
how
good
people
for
eat.
your stomach. I feel like. Yeah.
I just feel like it's not good for your palate. Like, how are you gonna eat a salad
Yeah.
at the very end? You know what I mean? Like you know, imagine the cheesecake's gonna fill you up entirely. I feel like.
Like imagine if you go to the Keg, they got that famous dessert. What is it? Like the Billy Miner's pie or something? Like it's
Yo,
like a.
do I look like a man who's ever been to the Keg, bro? What are
Yo,
you
shout out to the
talking
Keg,
about,
man. Yo, come sponsor me, man. I'll do ad reads right off the top, man.
Are you a Keg stan?
Oh, I'm a Keg stan. I'm a Swiss Chalet stan. Are they all part of the same corporation?
It does feel like they're
Yeah. Like imagine if you get like a pie and then you get the steak. Yeah.
Yo, streets are saying Billy Miner pie.
Yo, you don't
goated.
understand.
What does that mean?
Billy Miner pie is like you just defended Canada, and now 2 minutes later you don't know what Billy Miner pie is.
I've never been in a tax bracket where
I'm
I've
just
never
saying,
been in
man.
that Thad Young tax bracket where I'm
I'm
eating
just
at the
saying,
Keg, man.
You and Jeremy might gotta go sing that national anthem again together, man.
No, I already got my citizenship, baby.
But yeah, it's weird. So are we in agreement that is weird?
That is a bit weird. I also feel like because it's also like, are they splitting apps? Because if you go with the big party, like you're pretty much just gonna split your.
No,
apps,
but this
right?
is Jimmy trying to be like different again. He's like, I eat my meals backwards.
No, but I'm saying if you're gonna split your apps, like then
Yeah,
someone else
yeah,
has
I
to
get
like,
what you
all
mean.
right, I guess I have to be subjected to eating cake
Yeah.
alongside like a. If you make a plate for yourself, it's like one chicken wing, one Caesar salad, and then one piece of cake. It's like it's just weird, man.
Yo, it'd be great to show up to Keg and order the Billy Miner pie first. I want my pie medium rare. All right, next up, before the game, Steve Kerr said that his three best defensive players that he has seen in his lifetime
Okay.
are Michael Jordan,
Yeah.
Dennis Rodman,
Okay.
and Draymond Green. So I guess he's talking about like people he's played with and he's
Wow.
coached.
No Scottie Pippen?
Yeah, Pippen left off the list, man.
Wow.
Yeah.
Damn.
So actually, I think he's never mind. I think he said Pippen, Rodman, and Draymond. Yeah.
So no Jordan?
Yeah, no Jordan. One of them
Whoa.
got left off.
Why
My
couldn't he
bad.
just do a top four?
The six pack crack research staff was kind of lacking on this one.
Okay, all right, fair enough. Yeah.
But anyways, Draymond is on that list. I don't
Uh-huh.
know if you heard during the game too. Matt Devlin was giving huge praise to Draymond, like as an
Yeah.
all-time defensive great. And I know you
He
love
is.
Draymond for being an asshole off the court. So Draymond right now on Betway is a 4-1 to win Defensive Player of the Year.
Yeah. Okay.
The favorite is your favorite, Evan Mobley,
Mm.
because he is manning a top 10 defense, and of course the Cavs are at the top of the standings.
Sure. Yeah.
I feel like there's a little Draymond media push for DPOY that's happening right now.
Mm-hmm.
What do you think about Draymond's chances to potentially snatch that DPOY?
Why are you saying it like that, man? I feel like
Provocative.
Draymond is always a candidate to win Defensive Player of the Year.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
Love Draymond.
no, but he's amazing defensively. I don't know if you
Yes,
watched.
you shared a clip. You shared the clip with us too in our group chat, like the way
Yeah.
he was defending Giannis and the Bucks.
Dude, the
other
recent
night, right?
Bucks Warriors game
Yeah.
was absurd. The way he was locking up everybody, but especially with Giannis. Draymond is that good defensively, man. He's a genius level help defender. He's great on ball as well. He's just great at every aspect of defense. I don't know what else you wanted to say. Like, I think the one thing is like he's had a lot less help anchoring Golden State's defense as compared to what Evan Mobley's had anchoring, I guess, Cleveland's defense. And of course, like this was obviously going to be Wemby's award. No one even talked about any other candidates until he unfortunately was out for the season. But like people are just kind of like defaulting to like I guess Evan Mobley is next. But it's like I don't know if I had to like pick one person to defend for me in a Game 7 scenario and I need to win it, I'm picking Draymond Green 100%.
I completely agree with you. I think a couple years ago when remember that Nuggets team with Jokic, but everybody else was hurt.
Yeah.
And I just the way that Draymond defended Jokic
Mm-hmm.
in that first round series. I mean, obviously we've seen other great performances too, but like, yeah, that really stands out for me. Like, yeah, Draymond just for all my hate with Draymond with the other stuff, like he is a very unique and special player.
Yeah, also the Warriors are better than the Cavaliers defensively this season, which is kind of nuts to say because the Cavs are like on pace to win like 65, 68 type of games or whatever,
Yeah.
right? But like it's because their offense is amazing. Their defense is pretty good,
Yeah.
but it's 9th versus 7th for the Warriors. And I
No
feel
love.
like Draymond really does have a lot less help. Like Draymond's like anchoring a defense with like how many guards are in the Warriors rotation? It's like a bunch of guards and then Draymond.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
somehow they're still really good defensively. So
Yeah, no love. I mean, I guess Dyson Daniels isn't gonna get into this conversation
I saw that. I was like, oh, he's got the most steals since like
in like 16 years or something. Like since
I'm like,
CP.
I don't know, man. Does
Yeah.
a steals
I mean, it's
leader
the-
ever win Defensive Player of the Year? Let's be honest, man.
I mean, he's on
Like
the
Kawhi,
Atlanta
I guess,
Hawks.
when he did it, but that's
Yeah,
probably it.
he's on the Atlanta Hawks is the problem. So yeah, Draymond is 4-1. If you think that the DPOY push is underway there, so make sure you hit the QR code and check out all your basketball betting needs below. Number 4 here.
That was seamless integration into the six
Woo!
pack, man.
Yo, don't try this at home, especially at
man.
1:30. Follow
I'm
my
so tired.
letterbox. Thanks for getting me to 101 followers, everybody.
Wow.
All the banter.
Y'all the Dalmatians, man.
Bill Chisholm has agreed to buy the Celtics for $6.1 billion.
Oh man, you gotta say that with like the
Do you think?
the Dr. Eel.
Do you think he will complain about having to clear customs to come watch his Celts?
Hey man, what's that in Canadian, bro?
So, oh man, that's a great question.
convert
man.
that real
That's
quick. Hold on.
14 billion, I believe. Yeah. So the Celtics obviously have been on the block, and they finally have a new owner. And current owner Weck Grossbeck says that he is. Can I just get a normal name?
Yo, say that name
What?
again.
Weck Gross. Yo, he Weck Grossbeck.
It's a horrible mouthfeel for the name.
Why are
man.
these billion? Why can't they just be Scott Johnson? He says current owner says he's gonna stay with the team as CEO and governor for the next 3 years, which
Oh,
Celtics
you gonna do the
fans.
Mark Cuban?
Celtics fans pointed out that he's exiting just as Jaylen Brown is going to be up for his next extension.
Okay.
The Celtics have $445 million in salaries and luxury tax right now committed for next season. So do you think this new owner is going to come in like Matt Ishbia, like Patrick Dumont in Dallas and do something crazy and mess the vibes up?
Yo,
Reddit. Okay, can I tell you Reddit? The suggestion on Reddit, my number one news source,
Okay.
is the best way to mess this up is trade Jaylen Brown for Kevin Durant this summer.
Ooh.
Woo!
Don't you feel like they're good enough that they'll still win though?
Yo, I would do that trade as the thing.
Why? Why would you do any trade with
Because
the
I
Celtics?
love KD, man.
Yo, you stop trying to get KD one more sympathy ring, man.
If I'm the
Goddamn.
Celtics, I'm getting KD. What up, JC?
No, I'd honestly rather have Jaylen Brown than KD right now for the championship run. I'm not even kidding, man.
Yo, that's gonna be on First Take tomorrow, man. Watch that.
What are you talking about? Nah, I honestly, bro, look at what Jaylen Brown does every time he has to guard Luka, man. KD not doing that for you nowadays.
Just confirming for you guys, 6.1 billion USD is 8.74 billion Canadian dollars.
Man.
God damn.
I
But you
wish
got
I
to but you got to scratch off at least, $100 for taxes. For at least for picking up your packages
Man,
as shoppers.
I wish
man,
I
so.
could hit either of those numbers, man. Yeah. So Celtics have new owner, and yeah, congratulations.
Selfishly, as a Raptor fan, I would hope that this means that they're gonna break up their team.
Yeah.
I hope that they follow what the Mavs are doing. But I think, what's the one thing promising for Celtic fans is like this guy is a Celtic fan. He's been a longtime Celtic fan, and he's stepping up. I guess because like none of these owners ultimately have $6 billion. Like so they gotta like ultimately like link up with like a whole group, a financial group.
Right.
You know what I mean?
A consortium.
Yeah, not to make this industry season 2 or whatever, but like, so yeah, like I feel like as long as they're okay paying it, because basically before the ownership group currently left, they were like, let's just sign all these guys to all the money. So let's give Drew Holiday a big contract. Let's give Kristaps a big contract. Jaylen Brown, you got
they're all extended.
Jason
They're
Tatum.
all locked in. They're all locked in. Yeah.
I think Tatum might be up for like extension this summer too. It's like, how are you not going to extend Tatum? He's your best player.
Yeah.
But at the same time, you're going to pay like a crazy luxury tax bill.
Yeah. No, they're saying with the luxury tax right now, it's going to be upwards to $500 million in total dollars next year that they're going to have to pay.
See, that's crazy because there's like even if you sell out all the games and you price it as hard as you can and you sell all the merchandise, I don't think any team's realistic to pull in $500 million.
Yeah. Well, the TV deals, I guess, however they split the money too, they get a lot of money from that. And like local TV deals too. But like, yeah,
I mean, bro,
I'm not
local. No way, like Nesson or whatever. Hey, like, come on, man.
not Nesson.
Nesson probably throwing them like a cool $50 million a year, man.
Not Nesson. Yeah. So I'm trying to think of what would be the Luka Doncic trade. It would be Jason Tatum to the Sixers for Paul George.
Oh my god.
Yo,
I need that.
No, Paul George
I
and
need
Quentin Grimes. That would be the Boston Celtics version of the Luka trade.
Yeah, man, those Celtics fans will not play, man. I feel like yeah.
They
feel
were
like
also
real
they were
violence
also
would occur if
saying
that happened.
Jaylen Brown, Drew Holiday, and 5 firsts to Utah to draft Cooper Flag.
God damn.
I'm spending too much time on Reddit, man.
Yeah.
All right. Next up, number 5. We had a great Raptors roundtable. Everybody should go check that out on YouTube and podcast feed today with Will, Kirtika, and the Pound the Rock boys, Joe Cash and Joe Wolfond. R.I.P. to Pound the Rock. Keeks is known to bring a lot of fun stats, fun facts to the table.
Oh, you got your own fun stats?
Oh, I got one for you in the form of a trivia.
Oh, okay.
So there's
Let's
2
go.
NBA players this season.
Yep.
Who have 900 plus points,
Mm-hmm.
600 plus rebounds, and 360 plus assists. 900 plus points,
That's an
600 plus
arbitrary
rebounds,
cutoff.
360 plus assists. Yeah, it's like that Thad Young stat.
Yeah, it does feel like that stat. Yeah.
If you can name 2, I will split Loga's corner with you next time.
Oh wow, damn, a whole 450 Canadian. It's like give me 3 USD, man. God damn.
2 players.
So okay,
Let me know if you want any hints.
2
one is
players
in
that have had what? Give me the numbers.
So
again.
900 points.
Yeah.
900 plus points, 600 plus rebounds, 360 plus assists. 1 player's in the East, 1 is in the West.
Wow.
Yeah. 1 is a big and 1 is a guard.
One's a guard. I was gonna say Giannis.
They're both very do-it-all players, obviously.
Is
given
it?
the
Is
stats.
Jokic the big?
Jokic is 1. The second
Yeah.
one is a little tougher. So the second one is in the East. He's a guard.
Cade?
No, he's also in podcasting.
He's also in podcasting.
That narrows it down to 235
I
players.
was gonna say who
and
is it?
Theo
Trae Young.
and Theo Pinson.
Hey, shouts to Theo Pinson.
Yo,
I
shouts
like his
to Theo Pinson, Title League. Shouts to
Yeah.
the homies. Someone
is
said
it
Duncan Robinson. No, it's this season. Someone said Andre Iguodala.
a
You
lot
mean
of
Oso
rebounds, a lot of
Iguodala?
rebounds for a guard.
Mm-hmm.
On
I'm actually disappointed you're not getting this.
LaMelo. LaMelo doesn't have a
No.
pod.
No, Josh Hart, bro.
Josh Hart. Oh yeah.
Come on, Josh Hart fills it up, man.
Yeah,
Stop
okay.
laughing.
Yo, what's wrong with that, man?
God damn.
Josh Hart. Yeah, you know what, Josh Hart. Yeah.
Yeah.
I remember at that time because the Knicks were like really doing well in like December and January.
Yeah,
people
he
were
was
like,
putting
Josh,
up crazy stats.
They were like,
man.
Josh Hart should make the All-Star game, and I'm like, in what All-Star game do you want to see Josh
hey.
Hart, man?
Hey, I gotta say, man, we've pushed for a lot of Raptors players to make All Stars in the past. So
We have never pushed
we
the
gotta
Josh
have
Hart
some
level
shame.
for All-Star.
We gotta
bro.
have some shame.
No,
I swear
who-
to God, we were pushing Gary Trent Jr. for All Star like a few years ago.
No, okay, Raptors were doing that,
but that's what I'm saying.
No, but like wasn't like the streets weren't pushing for it. Like
Yeah,
the
yeah,
streets
yeah.
are
No,
pushing
no,
for
no,
Josh
that's
Hart
fine.
for All Star. And
Yeah,
you,
that's
my least favorite thing now is when they put up those like stat like head like comparisons, and they'll
Yeah.
put all the stats in the columns, and they'll give you the green for the player that's won, like who has
Oh,
more
yeah,
points
yeah,
or more
yeah.
rebounds.
Yeah, yeah.
And they're like, see, this player's better than this player. I'm like, no, he's not, man. They're like Josh
Yeah.
Hart. Look, he's got more greens than Pascal. He's better than Pascal. I'm like, no,
No,
he's
no,
not.
that's insane. Have you
No.
seen?
Bro, they even did one with him and Jaylen Brown. I'm like, in what world are you giving? You're gonna pick Josh Hart over Jaylen Brown, bro? What are we doing here, man? Stop comparing players like that. It's
Have you
stupid.
seen the Cavs broadcast? They have this like thing that people like are like freaking out over because they show. It's called like just the diff, like the difference. Like they show so like if the Cavs are up 10, it'll show like plus 10, and people are freaking out about it, being like, I don't have to calculate the deficit anymore. I'm like, yo,
hey,
where's
man,
the
open
math
the
literacy?
schools, man?
Where's
open
where's
the
the
schools.
where's the math literacy at, man?
Open
Is that
the
even
schools.
literacy? Is math literacy a word? Like two
This is
words?
what George W. Bush was talking about with child left behind, bro.
No,
There are
but-
a whole generation was left behind. If you can't do the subtraction,
I'll be seeing people on Twitter with
Yo,
with
no
you know
way.
with bylines and MB in their last name, being like, this has changed my life.
this has changed my.
I'm like you looking at 73 to 58 and you can't tell it's 15. You're
Yo,
crazy.
maybe this is just us being Asian.
No,
but, like,
but can the chat chime in here? Like, you guys can just look at a score and be like, yo, it's 17. Like,
like guys, I'm sorry, but like I've never had to like look at the numbers on
Listen,
those two scores. and
like
have
if you
to,
throw me like
really
a one,
think about what the difference is.
If you throw me like a 110 to 76, I gotta think like, okay, that's okay, 34. Like I gotta think about it for a second. But still, like,
Hey, buddy, if it's a 34-point game, you're not even thinking about the score in the first place.
no, but what are we doing?
What actually are we doing?
This
Okay, so,
changed my life. Yeah.
uh,
Oh my god.
as a child, I got one of my like you know how you only remember like certain moments of your childhood.
Yeah.
One of the toys I got when I was growing up in China was like Garfield calculator.
Yeah.
But it wasn't Garfield because it was like it was
When I
China.
bought my nephews on the China trip we went on.
So it was like a knockoff Garfield, but it was like basically a cat and on like a calculator. And what it would do is if you press the button, it'll just ask you a question. It'll be like, 9 times 9 equals, and then you
Right,
have to
right,
like
right.
punch it in, and then so it'll just like do I guess it'll just spit out a round of
It's
these
like
for,
testing
10 at
you.
a time.
It's like testing you.
Yeah, so like they'll do like multiplication, they'll do subtraction,
Yeah.
addition. I had this toy as like a 4-year-old, man.
Yeah.
Like,
Well, we know the school systems are very different in different countries. Yeah, especially
well,
some.
actually, my other when I was going to school in China was one of my other seminal memories was I was always a very talkative guy, as a kid, and so I remember talking in the back of a class in China, and I swear to God, the teacher legit turned around and whipped a piece of chalk like across the room.
Once
And
again, man.
and it hit me like somewhere in the shoulder area.
Different
I was
disciplines.
shocked, bro.
Different disciplines in different countries, man.
Yo,
What's-
every night I was up until 10 p.m. as a 7-year-old
Yeah.
doing homework until 10 p.m. Bro, school ended at like 6 p.m. and I would do homework until 10.
Yeah. No, I don't know. You want me to feel bad?
No, not at all. This is just normal existence, man.
Not for me. What up, JC?
Oh, just you talking about all of this, and then me reminding myself who's the Minister of Education at this point in the U.S.
Oh, it's Linda
It's
McMahon.
Linda
right?
McMahon. Yeah.
Well, I was watching.
What?
I was watching.
It's Vince McMahon's
I was watching
wife.
CNN. I was watching CNN
Oh my
tonight, and Mr. 47th president is like dismantling the education department
Yeah.
or whatever.
Yeah,
And there's been all this
considering-
research that like literacy rates are like going down. People are reading less than ever before.
How are
Mm-hmm.
literacy rates going
Yeah,
down?
like
What's
all this
going
stuff.
on, man?
Everybody's just using phones, and they're just like not.
How are you
like,
going to use the phone if you can't read?
They're not. And AI.
Also, I guess AI
is
too,
not a
with
good thing.
ChatGPT.
Because people
Yeah.
can just look up stuff now, and you don't have to like do any critical thinking and stuff.
You don't need to write anything anymore.
Yeah. This is.
Yeah.
This
What's
is
the
what
point of existing? Honestly, if you can't. No, seriously though, like,
Yeah.
what's the point of
Yeah.
existing then? If you're
No,
gonna
legit.
use if you're gonna take every shortcut possible to never use your brain. I'm
Yeah.
sorry, my immigrant parent is like jumping
No,
out
but-
at the screen
but-
right now.
no, but
like,
this
learn
is
math,
where-
learn how to read. Like these are non-negotiables, man.
No, this is what it's come to. That's what
We should
people
just
do now.
have a flashcard challenge next banter pod. Just like,
Guys, what
did
are
you
these-
did you have that in school, Alex? Like growing up, like I used to have the thing where they would always just show multiplication tables, and then kids
Oh,
had
yeah,
to like
yeah, yeah,
go
yeah.
against each other in answering
Yeah,
it.
they just like flash you the stuff. and
Yeah,
then you
yeah.
have to like Anyways, yeah, we
By
got.
the way,
we got
a fun way to
detoured
teach your kids a little bit of math, but also keep it fun. This is one of again a super fun trick that my immigrant parents taught me. So if you take a deck of cards and you take out all the face cards,
there. Oh, I'm listening.
and then you
Gambling?
and then you deal 4 at a time, and you have to use every number once to make a combination of 24. Play that game. You can do whatever you want.
Yo,
Addition,
play that
subtraction,
tonight, man.
multiplication, division. You can obviously use 2 numbers to put them together. Like you have 10 and 2. You can make that into a 5.
I got a pack
and then
of
use
cards
that
right
as a
here. I'm
5.
gonna try right now. Man.
Yeah.
Gosh.
Yo,
Can we-
I swear, my dad used to make me, my brother, my cousin. We used to just like play this at the dinner table, bro. You just got to make 24. Take all the face cards out, deal 4 cards, and use those
Yeah.
4 numbers to make 24.
That's actually like a really fun way to teach. Damn.
Yeah, no, it's
Like-
genuinely fun. I started bringing that to my friends in high school. We used to just sit in front of our
Just try
lockers
to
and
hit
play.
24s.
Yo, I was
Yo,
cool in
this-
high school. I promise. Okay, I
Yo,
also
this
did
ain't-
other stuff too. I
yo,
promise.
This ain't blackjack, man. Yo, Top Shot Tesla, like super fun math tricks and no one ever. Oh man! All right, we got sidetracked
Yes,
because the 6-pack is not done.
we got
Oh,
one
yeah,
more.
Let's go. Let's go.
Last one. This was viral on Twitter, possibly Blue Ski as well, as Joe Wolfond calls it. So someone put up their rankings of the days of the week tiers.
Okay.
So I totally disagree with this, but we'll run it down real quickly for the audio listeners. Number 1, Friday. Saturday. Number 2, Wednesday. Monday, Sunday, Tuesday, with Thursday coming in last, which is a
Yo, that's
huge
crazy,
disagree
bro.
for me. So I guess we'll make it simple. What would be your top 3 if you were to rank this?
Top 3.
Your
I
top
agree that,
3 days of the week.
I agree that Friday is probably number 1.
Yeah,
The
I
only
love Thursdays. I would put Thursday like maybe number 1.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah,
It's-
Thursday is number 1.
Thursday's like the
Yeah.
best night to go out. I feel like.
I think
Yeah.
Thursday is just a chill day because you know Friday is gonna be chill.
This is also coming from 3 guys who have not done a 9 to 5
Yeah,
in
we
how
don't
many
work 9 to 5,
years? We
man.
don't. Yeah.
Yeah, well,
I
who else
legit
is
haven't
working-
worked a 9 to 5 since 2019. So
Yeah, but who else working at 2 a.m. man? Come on, man.
There you go.
that's true. That's true.
We working from Thursday to Friday, our favorite days of the week.
I would go Thursday, Sunday, Friday as my top 3.
Ooh,
You like Sunday? huh?
Saturday's out.
Yeah, I
Okay.
don't mind Saturday too. Saturday would probably be 4th, but
Sure.
I think Thursday is really underrated. Yeah.
The hardest day of the week is definitely Wednesday.
Yeah, I
Wednesday's
thought Wednesday
very
should be
disor-
dead last.
Wednesday's
Wednesday
very
should be dead
disorienting.
last.
Monday,
Yeah.
I actually don't mind Mondays because especially we have a group chat every Monday. I know Alex is gonna be like, okay, this is what we're gonna do for the week.
And then y'all ain't gonna hear from me for 4 days.
no, Monday is just like a get right day. You know what I mean? Like lock
Yeah,
in.
I
like
like-
sort out what you're gonna
Yeah.
do for the week. You know, make
This
all
this
your
is
plans.
this is you make a really good point because this is the big difference between the 9 to 5ers because they always get the Sunday scaries and then they're like,
Yeah.
I gotta go to work on Monday.
Where
For
we
me-
have the 6 p.m. Raptors game.
For me, Mondays are pretty chill because I
Yeah.
feel like most people, at least for us, like emails or like stuff wise, people are just getting back into the groove. So we're not being bothered by a lot of stuff. Like Monday is actually a chill day for us to like
Monday is
reset,
kind of a
get
refresher
going
because
on
we're
stuff.
usually working one of the days on the weekend.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So for us, I think Monday is higher than for a lot of people. But I totally agree. Wednesday should be last.
Wednesday should be last. I think Tuesday's objectively second last.
Yeah.
You know,
yeah, I
with
would
all
do
due
that.
respect to our ball run on Tuesday nights or I love Marconin, but like.
But once you get to
Club
Tuesday
is not
night,
going
I don't
up
even
on a
think it's
Tuesday.
Tuesday anymore. Like
What's-
once we get to like that run, it
Yeah.
feels like Tuesday's been done already.
Also, I feel like Monday and Tuesday are the 2 days most likely restaurants are closed.
Yeah,
Like, it's
for
hard to make
downtown,
plans.
Monday
Yeah.
is closed. Like
Yeah,
a lot
like
of
you-
places are closed. Yeah.
Which obviously, like, for all kitchen
How
staff.
come Thad Young didn't complain about
Hey,
that
shouts
part?
to Aaron. What's going on, Aaron? It's really sad that you're working at 2 a.m. right now.
Oh no.
Don't you have?
Is this the Aaron we met in Philly?
I think so. Yeah.
Oh, shout
Oh
out.
yeah, there you go. What up, Aaron?
What up?
What up,
What was I gonna say? Okay, so between Friday, Saturday, Sunday, how would you rank those?
Sunday for me, it's like I don't know. Like a lot of things are closed. I kind of just like to chill on Sundays.
Yeah.
So I'd probably just go Friday, Thursday, Saturday. Saturday is also a lot. Saturday's just kind of busy. Like
Yeah, I
everyone's
feel like
out doing
Saturday
things.
you're like catching up on stuff or just like going out doing
Yeah.
stuff.
I mean, Saturday really depends on what happens on your Friday.
Yeah.
right.
You know, honestly, I feel like none of us go out like that. Yeah.
I might be the only one left. of the
It's
three of
warm
us
enough
that
at this
might.
point where we might have to make a trip back to Shing, man.
Yeah, I mean, last time I went to Ossington, I was sick for 11 days.
Yo, you legit.
I caught the NS Esmer virus.
Oh my god.
Mr. Mikey and Nikki.
This guy went to 3 bars, bro.
Yo, Jerome bailed after the second bar.
You better go home.
After the second bar at 1:47 a.m. is not bailing at all.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Shouts to Flu Game in the chat. I was at the Blue and Exile show at Lee's Palace yesterday.
Nice.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, settled up to me. I believe your name's Christian. Sorry, I'm not trying to dox you.
No, the flu game, bro. Come on, man.
Flu Game,
Yeah,
Flu
Flu
Game,
Game,
Flu
Mr.
Game.
Flu Game.
Yeah.
So shouts to you. All right, that is the 6-pack, man. That is the 6-pack.
Hey, honestly, it's just concerning, man. It's concerning that we got to do a score differential. I'm sorry.
The diff.
The diff is crazy, man.
Yo, I will do one of those like genius tests where you flash me like 100 different scores. I will tell you the diff of all of them
Ooh, we'll
in
just do
1
that.
minute. In
Okay.
1 minute.
We'll do a diff challenge.
Yeah.
Buy the diff, short the VIX, fuck Bitcoin. Shouts to Industry
no.
Season 1. Shouts to Gus, baby. Come
Yo.
back to us, Gus.
Yo, you guys gotta look up a Cavs game sometime just to see the diff.
Deep in the
It's
heart of the
espe-
Q.
it's
Darius
especially
Garland makes
cool.
the diff 28. Like,
It's especially cool when it's 8-6 and the diff is 2.
Oh my god.
You gotta get in early. Yeah.
That is. Wait, so the diff is on the entire game?
so what if they're down? Do they show like a
I
minus?
want to say like I feel like I've only tuned in like later in the game, so I've only
Okay.
seen it in the second half. So maybe they don't use it at the start.
Yeah.
That would
But,
be
like-
embarrassing.
But like, damn, man, the diff is crazy, man. Yeah,
Yeah.
but
Although, okay, how would you feel about this? That they
Open
don't
the
show the
score.
score at all, and it's just pure diff
That's
all game.
stupid. What? Why?
actually, I don't mind it because
That
that's
might
the
be
whole,
kind of interesting.
That's the whole purpose of the game, anyways.
Right, right.
Yeah,
That's
like
no, man.
yeah. These
Like
are
you
not
don't know.
these are not the things
Hey.
we should be concerned about in terms of fixing the game. I feel like
What do you do? So you would do a full diff game?
yeah, full diff game would be fun, man.
Okay.
Yeah,
Yo, that's
Damn,
crazy.
man.
Diff
Yeah.
sounds too close to DILF. Anyway, it's time now for the
That's,
Tangerine
like,
fan.
Nobody was thinking that. Yeah,
It's time now for the Tangerine fan inbox, man. I want you to know
What's
that
in the inbox.
Tangerine is the official bank of the Toronto Raptors, official partner
Official.
of WNBA Canada and NBA Canada. And of course, they're not just fans of basketball. They're fans of basketball. They're fans of fans who are staying up at 2 a.m. after the Raptors lose to the Golden State Warriors, which feels like a distant memory at this point, but they are fans of fans like you here in the show. And of course, Tangerine, there's no doubting your commitment. As to Raptor fans, sorry, I gotta pull up the numbers, man. It's so late, I can't remember what's going on here. For the Raptors' 30th season, Tangerine has turned the spotlight from the court to the stands and celebrating the way Raptor fans support the team because this is how we fan. To learn more, visit tangerine.ca/basketball. Sorry, Tangerine, it's 2 a.m. I don't have the full ad read memorized at this point, but big shouts to Tangerine. Okay, what are the fans saying in the Tangerine fan inbox, guys?
First one here from Enigmatical. Been seeing a lot of Scotty, Jimmy Butler comps lately. Would Jimmy's game be something that we'd be hopeful to see in Scotty, jack of all trades type?
I mean, I would not be at all upset if he turned into Jimmy Butler. Jimmy Butler's had an incredible career. Jimmy Butler plays both ends of the floor, similar to what Scotty does. Jimmy has that takeover gene, which we've seen so many times, leading the Heat to 2 finals appearances. And especially if you watched it in the moments too, you know, like the guy who is not afraid of anybody, who kind of like rips your heart out, you know, like there were some series where it was like Jimmy versus like a Milwaukee Bucks team that had won a championship, and he's getting guarded by Drew Holiday, who every player in the NBA swears by how good his defense is.
Yeah, the
and
vacation.
Jimmy's just screaming at him, being like, "You can't guard me." And it's like that level of takeover mode, because you see, like Jimmy kind of chills over the course of the game. He picks his spots, he picks his moments, but in the big moments, when it comes down to crunch time and things like that, he just took over and elevated and did exactly what the team needed. Like I love Jimmy Butler's game. And I think already like Scotty has a lot of those elements in terms of like playing defense, being able to switch, play multiple positions, that aptitude to actually want to play defense. I feel like for a lot of star players, their priority is to get their scoring, maybe their playmaking up, but like very few players focus on defense to the degree that those two guys do. They're both unselfish in the sense that they're not going to chase stats over the course of the game. Like you never see Jimmy chase stats, right? Like Jimmy's totally cool if he puts up 15 points and 5 rebounds and 5 assists as long as they win. And I feel like Scotty has a bit of that element too. I think the major thing is just like that takeover element with Jimmy is the ability to get to the basket whenever he wants. He's got a crazy quick first step for a guy with that size and that strength. He knows how to draw fouls at a really, really elite clip because of that first step. And then he's got the mid-range pull-up game that he's able to just rise up and shoot over the top of other people. I feel like, honestly, Scotty actually already has a lot of those elements down. So I really would not be upset if this was like the ultimate outcome for a guy like Scotty Barnes.
Yeah, the alpha. Let's see what else we have here. Question from late to class. You're gonna be late for class tomorrow.
Oh man,
is Jamal Shed worthy of making one of the all rookie teams? Do we have 9? Do we have 10 rookies better than him?
Okay.
In this horrific draft class.
Let me pull up the rookie stats real quick because that's actually pretty easy to look up. So, as we know, Jamal did not make it to the rookie-sophomore game, which I feel like certainly would really help on that front.
Yeah.
Also, Jerome, can I get you to help? Do you have to play 65 games to make all-rookie? I don't think you do, right? I feel like
you do.
I feel like rookie might be the one exception where
Really?
you don't actually hit 65.
Yeah.
But if I had to pick my team right now, I'd definitely go with Stephon Castle. I'd go with Alex Sarr. He's shooting under 40% as a big. Damn.
Yeah. 2.
But I'd probably still put Sarr in there.
Chat's saying you don't. Rookie is the exception, so you're right.
Yeah, that's what I thought. Yeah, Jalen Wells is also
confirming
somebody
for you here. The exceptions are Rookie of the Year, All Rookie Teams, and Sixth Man of the Year.
Wait, 6 man? You don't have to do 65?
Apparently not.
Yo, my Norman Powell bet is back.
You're such a degen. It's crazy.
Alex wrong. Okay,
okay.
Yeah, 2. Sarr.
I got Castle. I got Sarr. I got Jalen Wells.
Sounds like a Cameron song.
I got Yves Misi. Eventually, I guess
Edie?
Zachary Ricochet as well, so that's 5.
Edie
I put
6?
in there as well.
Yeah. Jalen Wells.
Jalen Wells is already in that first 5.
Yeah, okay.
Quentin Post, I feel like the way he's played in the second half of the season has a lot of good momentum to potentially make it, but he's only played 32 games.
It's gonna be
so. Maybe some teams won't sort of recognize him.
Maybe
but
Shed really is like on the fringe of maybe making it. I don't know.
I put Matas Bazelas in there too. I really like Matas. But even though his numbers don't look that great, I feel he's averaging 7 points a game, so it's not like that crazy. It's less than Jacoby, for example.
Right.
But I feel like he's one of the best rookies in this class. Dalton
need
Connect probably makes it too. Like Connect is averaging 10.
Yeah.
The thing is, like, this rookie class just isn't that particularly impressive.
I know.
I do wonder if how many people put, like, Jared McCain on there, for example. Like, he technically still leads the rookie class in scoring, but it's only at 15 a game, and he only played 23 games.
Well, yeah, this is where, like, Shed gets hurt by, I guess, like, playing on the Raptors. There's really no buzz and stuff.
There's no buzz. But if he keeps throwing out dunks, I feel like that certainly helps. But, I don't know. Shed's kind of on the bubble. Like he certainly is on that level where like he could sneak
Yeah.
into second team, and I feel like the more minutes they play him, the more stats you accumulate. And certainly that always helps. But Jamal, for me, has been like one of the top 10 impact in terms of like rookies that actually make impact. I feel like he's actually one of those top 10 this season. So on that level, I actually do believe he should make second team.
Right. Okay. Let's get one more question, a real question in.
Okay.
Glenn Sama, shouts to Glenn, says, could this possibly be the final loss we take this season? Because if you look at the schedule, the Raptors don't play another winning team the rest of this year, I do not believe.
No, we have Detroit, man.
Oh, yeah. My bad to Malik Beasley. But yeah, outside of that, the Raptors have a lot of losing teams coming up. Like
I think every other team is a losing team.
San Antonio, Washington, Brooklyn, Charlotte, Philly, Chicago, Portland, Detroit, Brooklyn, Charlotte, Dallas, if they don't forfeit, and San Antonio. So
yeah, there's one winning team.
Yeah.
Wow.
So, like I said, keep an eye if you got the over/under bet on Raps 30 wins. That's gonna come down the stretch.
It's tough too because it's like there's obviously this game they were able to play their regular rotations. They even put in their major guys towards the end of the game, like Scotty, IQ, and Yak actually ended up going back into the game instead of the Raptors throwing the fourth quarter like they usually do. But yeah, I mean, if you see some of the rosters, this is what I'm saying. Like, this is why tanking to me is like a real issue this year. Like there's 10 teams in the league you actually need to go out of your way not to watch.
I'm really glad they played teams that were like trying to win this week, so we didn't have to talk about 2 tanking teams playing.
Well, we'll have lots of time to do that towards the end, but
six packs coming.
Yeah.
All right.
We'll still find ways to throw some of those. I mean, we'll make Jakob like a high volume 3-point shooter. You know, we'll play double big lineups. You know, we'll take Jamal Shed off the floor and then rest IQ and make.
Yeah.
I don't even know who's gonna. You know what? Actually, the one thing that's helping, and I don't mean to say this as in a scathing way, but like I feel like Mobo coming back actually does help the tank. If you notice him out there, like a lot of plays, he's like really lost and he doesn't necessarily know what to do offensively.
Sure.
And that really does grind the offense to a halt. Now, defensively, he's good. Like he's been able to switch. Thought he did a good job on Jimmy Butler in the second half. Thought he did a good job on Steph Curry in that one play towards the end of the halftime.
Yeah.
But offensively, I feel like he's such a record scratch right now, and he's so lost in the offense right now that it actually really does hurt the team's like competitiveness.
Right.
So.
Okay. Just a couple more comments here, and then we'll wrap up.
All right.
Please, Alex. Anyone. If you just start with please, Alex, we'll throw it on the screen.
Really?
Please, Alex. I know you may see this. Do a React Pod watch along for The Wire season 1. Yeah, let's do something that no one else has ever done before, and that is rewatch The Wire. And let's hear 2 Chinese guys, one who grew up in the suburbs.
I also grew up in the suburbs. Let's be real, man. I didn't grow up in no inner city, man. Let's be real.
Discuss the politics of Baltimore, policing and crime.
Yeah.
Having said all that, yeah, I'm down to do that. Yeah.
Hey, by the way, shouts to Jay Landsman, man. I feel like that's a great boss.
Yeah,
I want a boss like Jay.
So Jerome's never seen The Wire, and he hasn't watched The Sopranos. So
Jerome, what have you been doing all your life, man?
We're gonna work on some of this. This will be a way for us to create the content. Well, not to spoil it, but on next banter pod, I'm gonna throw up 5 photos of Sopranos characters, and he has to guess their names.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. We have a 5 for you. We have a 5 for you too. A 5-pack. You know what? Just make it 6. We're gonna do a 6-pack of these. Yeah.
but who? Like of what show?
You're not a show. I actually forgot. Me and Jerome already talked about this today. And now, we're gonna give you wrestlers, current day wrestlers.
Yeah,
so we're gonna throw up a 6, and you have to come up with their name.
You have to come up with a name or think what their name is.
Yeah. And for me. And for me,
you can actually put this list together for Alex, but you're gonna put together a series of indie albums. And he has
covers.
to name the title of the album.
Covers. I have to name.
Covers.
Yeah, just wipe out. Just take out the name if it's there, and then I'll guess the band name.
Give him. I think we can give you the artist.
Yeah, if you give me the artist, I have to guess the album title.
But don't you like indie music? I feel like once in a while you pull out some indie music.
If you do you can send me a list of band names and I'll tell you which ones I don't know. I don't know the National. Yeah.
Wait, you don't know the National?
No.
Oh, come on, bro.
Yeah.
Okay,
Broken social scene. I don't know that stuff.
Yeah, I don't even know that stuff either.
Yeah. I feel like we can
even
even
hit
hit
Pokemon at you.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Oh, that could be fun too.
That's a really good one.
Yeah, we can give you Pokemon.
Yeah.
Name that Pokemon? Okay.
Dragonzoid.
Yeah, there's literally who's that Pokemon? Like it's
Lazarus. Lazarus fly.
Why are you talking
my
about
gosh.
Adrian Brody's character, man?
Yeah, that's
my
crazy.
God.
Why are you talking about the brutalist?
The brutalist. Oh man, yeah. Anyways,
Anyway.
that's the next pod, banter pod.
Yeah.
I think that's it, man. That is
Alright,
it, my brother.
Let's get to some awards.
Yeah,
Oh
man.
yeah, there's still awards, man. Jeez, I'm
Yeah.
so tired. Raptors, stop playing 10 p.m. games, man. People do not have the stamina to focus on.
I
these
love how
things.
you're tired. Meanwhile, I'm just wrapping up.
Yo,
I'm gonna
I'm
go
so
put on a
tired.
movie after.
I'm about to crash out, literally. Okay, your 3 stars from tonight's performance. I'm gonna give the first star to Scotty, 29 points, 10 rebounds, 6 assists. I really thought this was one of Scotty's best games of the season. I really like the balance of how he's able to score. I liked how aggressive he was going to the basket. The one thing I will say with Scotty is I wish he was able to introduce some, I suppose, east-west movement on his drives, kind of like how RJ is able to throw in some Euro steps and stuff. Feels like Scotty kind of goes in a straight line a little bit more often. But regardless, I thought Scotty played a really excellent game on both ends of the floor too, defensively especially as well. IQ's gonna get my second star, 21 points, 8 assists, 3 steals, 4 quick. I thought he played great. And then third star. To be honest, Jakob had a really, really great second half. First half, he was really lost in a lot of poor defensive positions, quite frankly. But I understand it. It was very strange playing the Warriors. So I'll give the third star to Jamal Shed for throwing down that dunk. He had a good game overall anyway. He was still a +6, but 11 points, 4 rebounds, 6 assists. Let's be like Matt Devlin and start that Jamal Shed all rookie second team push, maybe.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
But,
all rookie. AR. Yeah. R. Yeah.
What?
Jamal
Are you
Shed
okay?
for R.
Are you okay?
Yo, someone said we should do the Jimmy Butler and do a reverse pod. So start with the awards,
Oh, yeah.
then banter, take questions, and then you recap the game at the end.
I'm like,
You know what?
yo,
We're gonna do one of those this season.
We'll take any suggestions of this one, man.
Yeah,
I
we're
appreciate
desperate.
all of you.
Very desperate.
Your Gerald Henderson Award winner, that's going to go to Quinton Post. 18 points, 22 minutes. I feel like this is actually, this is how I play pickup basketball. A big man,
That's what
that
people are here
shoots-
for it too, man. Holy
a big
shit.
man that shoots only threes, bro. This guy was 6 of 9 from 3, 6 of 10 from the field overall. 2 rebounds, 1 steal, 1 block. He didn't do anything defensively. He was just there to pop threes. And yeah, that's my game, you know.
Is Quinton Post a European Ryan Anderson?
No, Ryan
Okay.
Anderson had more mobility. Than
He had
this,
more
I feel.
mobility, but just on
Yeah.
the big man that shoots threes,
Rhino.
Quinton Post is hilarious because you really have to look up who Dutch basketball players are because there just really are not many. If I had to ask you basketball players from the Netherlands, you would really struggle to find one.
Yo, did we end both pods talking about Quinton Post today?
Yeah.
Possibly, yeah.
Actually, before we go, one quick shout out to the
To what?
original Wongstradamus account on Twitter, who was, spent when we were on the Raptor show. He would track all the predictions and things like that. Was able to drop off a Wongstradamus hoodie for the original
Oh, fantastic.
Wongstradamus
Oh,
account
he deserves
today,
it,
so
man.
Shouts to you. Yeah.
Salute to them. That's it. Shouts to VLT that you've been drinking.
Yeah. Yeah.
Why you got drinking juice at 2
Somehow
a.m.?
also have a coffee.
Why?
Well, since he has the most
Try to
energy,
sleep, man.
I'm thinking we should just get Alex to close out the show since he's our most energetic person
Bro.
here.
All right,
Yeah.
let's get out of here, man.
Go.
Yeah, thanks for listening, guys. I really appreciate you guys.
Hey,
Hello and welcome pod presented by Betway.
Hey, huge thanks everyone for listening.
Why are you doing it? Let Alex
did it.
Actually,
just did it.
a huge thank you to people who actually wrote the reviews. I know I said it on a recent episode.
Oh, they
we need
wrote
some more
reviews?
Apple reviews. Yeah, we
Oh,
actually got a
nice.
huge
Let's
push
go.
of reviews
Come
in
on,
for Apple.
We appreciate
so.
you guys. Go keep writing those. Keep subscribing to the pod. Subscribe to the YouTube channel. Okay, we're gonna get the YouTube channel to 10K,
Let's go. The
and then
journey
we're
to
gonna
10.
and then keep sending us money because we're gonna use that for our eBay customs fees.
Oh, right. No, we should do a GoFundMe for Thad Young, man. Come on, man.
Yeah. Can you go chop up Thad Young with Drake singing?
Oh my gosh.
Thad Young.
No, Thad Young and Kendrick, the number 1 and 2 most hated in Toronto right now.
Oh my
Oh
god,
my
that's
goodness.
crazy, man.
Yeah, what are we doing, man?
All right.
Let's go. to
All
sleep.
right.
Appreciate
Thanks everyone for
staying
watching
tuned.
and listening.
And yeah, we'll catch you the next time the Raptors play, which will be this weekend.
No.